Welcome to today's English podcast. This podcast is focused on reflections related to learning English or the learning process. Really hope you enjoy it. Let's go. In this video, we're going to discuss how to improve my English. Everybody, I frequently receive questions from my students on how to improve my English, what should I do, what is the best method, how can I get advancing my level, how do I know my level, and etc. And that is why I decided to bring this video, because I frequently listen people giving very different methods. They're giving very different suggestions, and most of the suggestions are not useful for students. Once the students just received the general instructions, they shouldn't get lost. We should have a very good knowledge and understand what exactly our student needs and how to give the advice in a better way, in a very useful way, because we spend most of our time with our students, or we spend most of our time giving advice, when in fact our students don't need advice. They need strategies. They need to know how exactly they should go, what exactly they should do, right? So we're going to start reflecting on the CEFR levels, because they can ask, okay, teacher, but how can I know my level? How do I know my level? And many students, and unfortunately many teachers, don't know the CEFR level, or unfortunately some professionals neglect the fact that the CEFR levels exist, right? They're there to help us. But what is that exactly? Guys, to sum up, the CEFR levels are basically 6 levels, okay? This started in Europe, but now it's spread all over the world, and this is our friend, this is our best guide to help us in our learning journey, right? So basically we have the A1, we call it beginner, A2 pre-intermediate, B1 inner, B2 upper, C1 advanced, C2 proficiency. And they divided in 3 categories, like the basic user, independent user, and proficient user. You can ask me, okay, but what is the purpose of it? And how do I know the characteristic of these levels? We are going to go part by part, okay? But the first thing, the CEFR was designed to help us in terms of language proficiency in a very consistent way, in a more transparent way, but also in language competence, talking about the technical skills, the grammar, talking about the language in a way. You can ask me, okay, but what is that exactly? We must have the language that are the grammar skills, everything that we see, for example, simple present, present perfect, present continuous, mixed conditionals. But also, guys, we should look for the language in a social context, because language is not just grammar. If you look in my circle, this blue circle that I put right here, we have the grammar, we have the social aspects, like the relations, everything, the connections, the social relationships. How do we establish this language in a society, right? The uses. We have the culture, that is a fact. Culture impacts a lot in the type of language you're going to use. We have the ideology. We use languages for different purposes, right? We use language for different tasks. We have identifications. We can be talking about specific communities, right? We have the identity. We use the language as identity. We have the needs, the wishes, the fears. We have many things. Like, it's a set, guys. Language, it's a set of things, it's a set of elements, more than just grammar. And the CEFR shows us those things, right? They have like a very specific design. It's like a map. I usually call this like a map, but it's a very good map. It's the map to your fluency, right? It's the map that's gonna make you achieve the level you want to achieve. And then you can ask me, okay, but now let's go for the characteristics. What I love the most of the CEFR test is that, first thing, how to know about the level. Just take the test. Just take the test. Where? Google. Guys, thank for the universe, we have free online tests, and you can go for the most known institutions like Cambridge, Oxford, British English, British Council. I could mention tons of it here, but you just Google. I can give you a hint. How do I Google this? You can put CEFR English levels online test. Basically this, everybody. You're going to receive a very large list. Click. If you are unsure, you can attend 2-3 tests. Then you can have an overview and feel, okay, now this is my level. Take that seriously. If you have access to internet, if you're watching me, you have access to internet. And Google. Just Google. Write this, get the list, and take the test. Usually the tests, they're more focused on grammar. Usually have questions and you have to mark the option. But let me give you an advanced search. You can put CEFR level English online test 4 skills. If you're lucky, you're gonna find 4 skills. One for grammar, that you're gonna mark the options. One for reading, one for listening, one for speaking. Okay, teacher. After getting this level, you have to search the level characteristics and explore it. Teacher, how do I know? First thing, Google again. Okay, in a few minutes, I'm gonna explain you how, where, what is the best source. You can also use AIs for this, okay? But how to explore this level? Summing up. This is just a simple way. We have more than this, but this is to guide you in a very soft way. First one, guys, beginner level. This is the basic level. All of us start from this level. There's no way to start from a different one. Even if a kid, a girl, a boy who is in their native country learning their own language, they start from this level. They're babies. Okay, so what is this level capable of doing? At this level, they're able to understand basic phrases, basic expressions. Everything is basic on this level. You're gonna see this word a lot. They can understand familiar words and very basic phrases when people speak slowly and clearly. I'm gonna give you some examples in a few minutes, but pay attention to this. They read simple tasks such as signs and notice, short basic instructions, can use simple phrases and sentences to express basic needs, introduce themselves and ask basic questions, write a short, simple podcast. So everything is basic, guys. Don't be exaggerated. If you are studying English or any language, okay? If your journey is starting right now, you should be basic. The main problem is watch videos, movies, go to this specific app, read. Imagining a teacher talking to a beginner student. Guys, do you believe that a beginner student will be able to do everything like this? Watch a movie, watch a podcast, listen to music, watch YouTube videos. Guys, how come? It's impossible for a beginner student to do this. It's unacceptable. A beginner student is like a baby. We never do this for a beginner student. We go for a beginner student and we give everything as shorter as possible. There's no way of recommending videos, news, paper, everything that they must read a lot and put a huge effort. Because if you are a self-taught student, you will regret your study. You say, okay, English is not for me. This language is not for me. No way at all. We never do this for students. That is why I hate those generic recommendations when my students ask, teacher, what should I do to improve my English? First thing, what is your level? If the students are my students that I know that we have a long journey, I know their levels. I can give hints, right? But I frequently receive questions on my Instagram, on my social medias, or like friends or my friends' friends. They ask, okay, I know you're a teacher. What should I do? I say, no way. Come, sit down. Let's have a long talk. So let's see some examples here of what a beginner student must master. Guys, this I took from internet. You can take this very easily, okay? Google. You can ask, for example, what a A1 level should master in vocabulary, in the grammatical aspect. When we talk about basic, guys, when we say that they can understand familiar words, it's like the basic verbs. For example, simple present. Simple present is the basis for the A1 level. Affirmative, negative, and questions. I like apple. Do you like apples? Those verbs, okay, with the do part, and also the verb be. The verb be maybe is one of the most important verbs we learn in English. And the first ones, I am happy, I am sad. If you notice, we have also adjectives. This is the level that we usually know the simple present and isolated words. Try to make some connection. So happy, sad, hungry, shy, tired, okay, intelligent, those things. And then you will start talking about some likes, right? Some hobbies. like apple. I don't like apple. Do you like apple? You start putting in your student the ideas, the awareness of, in this case, English. English works like this. We have the subject, the verbs, complements. But then when we are going to make a question, we have to reverse something. Okay? Or we have to put, in this case, do, an auxiliary. So you will start planting a seed in your student, or if you are self-taught student, you start recognizing this, getting aware of it. And then see, we always do like a sequence: the affirmation, negation, and question. Uses of there is, there are. There is a cat. There are two dogs. See, isolated words, but trying to make a connection. Talking about quantity. Guys, there is, there are. Sometimes you can study a lot. You can study some, any. The article is very important. The boy, the girl, the teacher. Then in this way, you can talk about professions and help your student to present himself, herself. When we talk about the short, simple presentations, right? Talking about their profession, their nationality. We can use this, the American boy, the Canadian boy. The basic prepositions, very basic one, in, on, at, on the very surface, okay? Nothing complex. Then you help your student, or you learn how to describe elements in a place. The book is under the table. The cat is under the sofa. You ask for directions. So where is the bank? The basic prepositions, in, on, at. Then you start describing things in a specific environment. For example, okay, the book is on the table, the cat is on the sofa, the shoes are under the table. Or asking for directions. Where is the bank? Where is the school? Okay, go straight ahead, past 2 blocks, you'll see the school. Using the possessives to talk about a lot of things. My name is, you, his, her. And starting a little, very little things about the simple past. In some cases, we don't start, but in some cases, yes. They can do in very simple sentences. Using maybe the family members, like this: I visited my grandma. Okay, and some basic conjunctions: and, but, or, because. Guys, if you see, okay, this is just very short description. We have more, for sure we have more, but this is just for you to understand that the A1 level is basic. But this basic means a lot. This student can do a lot, is capable of doing a lot, but we should be careful with this student. If you are in A1, you should be careful. You are building, you are starting your journey. You're being shaped. So this is a very good thing. So that is why you should be very careful and very attentive while you are studying, while you're in your process. This is my level. I should be very good at it. I should master this, right? And you can say, okay, teacher, I mastered this. I know how to do this. Perfect. Let's go for the A2 level. A2 is basically one step ahead. Guys, we call this elementary. What is this level capable of doing? Capable of understanding familiar expressions related to everyday life. What is everyday life? It's everything that we are talking about in level A1, but in a little more complex way. This is a little more independent when comparing with the A1 level. So thinking of ordering food, asking for directions in a longer sentence, talking about some expressions. We start some expressions, formal or informal, like, hey, what's up? What is going on? Related to areas of most immediate relevance. Shopping, asking for prices, or talking about family and work sometimes. Reading very short, simple tests, usually related to everyday life. Everything must be related, right? Shopping, family, work. Making some description of places, personal letters, but in a very specific way. For example, if we're writing a letter to your family, a friend or something, telling a little bit about something, reading some advertisements, very short ones, simple instructions, can communicate. In this case, we start the communication in a very simple way. Talking about routine tasks, daily routine usually, okay? Without exploring a lot, without demanding a lot from this student. Can write simple notes and messages related to personal needs, This is this elementary level, guys. Let's see the characteristic when we talk about this, okay, in a very simple way, but at the same time, a little more complex when comparing to the A1 level. The grammar this level should know, like the present continuous for ongoing actions, past simple. Now we start introducing verb tenses in a very intense way when we compare with the A1 level. We start planting the seed in the students. So, okay, if you have problems, now it's your time. Present continuous, how to use past simple, future forms, comparative and superlatives, modal verbs to express can, ability, right? Permission, obligation, needs, necessities, or if you're just giving simple advice, quantifiers. Now we use more. Okay, in the A1 level, we can start asking about prices, but in A2, you ask about prices and you define the quantity, some, any, much, many, a lot, a few, a little. You use with more frequency the adverbs of frequency to talk about things, daily routine, everything that you do, right? In a simple way. Guys, understand, this is still a simple level. But now you are more aware, right? When we compare with A1. We introduce a lot of W8 questions. This is the best level to introduce W8. Of course, we can know, guys. So my recommendation for you, if you're a self-taught student, start from the A1 and see. Right? Or if you're going to teach someone, or if you need to review, start from the W8. But when you achieve the A2 level, explore this level. Everything is very basic. You talk about future, you talk about some dreams. You start comparing things. What is bigger? What is cheaper? What is the biggest? What is the most famous? And you can say, okay, teacher, I know everything from this, or most of this. Okay, you can go. But wait, teacher, I don't know. So if you are in this level, guys, let me give you a hint. I don't know what to do. So you have this information. You have to focus on this. You're gonna stop and Google it. Now I know that I don't use a lot of present continuous. I don't even know what is that. Google how to use the present continuous, A2 level. How to use the past simple, A2 level. So you can do this in 4 steps. First, you can study the grammar. That way, you will understand. You observe the most important information. So after searching for the grammar, make some exercises, grammatical exercises. Fill in the blanks, completing, writing. Do shorter exercises from past continuous, grammatical ones, those that we usually have in the books. After doing these exercises, you can start from the writing. Trying to write short sentences. She is reading. He is singing. My friends are doing. After that, you go for listening. But this is the hardest part. Calm down. You have YouTube or any of those streaming. So you Google, choose the best one. You are gonna Google. Present continuous short videos A2 level. You'll get a huge list again. Click the first one. I didn't like it. Click the second. Go for the third. Guys, explore this. And after that, you speak. But how come? With yourself. Maybe you can read out loud your sentences. You can pretend you're talking, just like looking everything around you. Pick some verbs. So if you have a brother or sister, for example, okay, she's drinking water. My dog's sleeping. My mom is cooking. But how do I get this vocabulary? So you're saying your family cooking. I don't know how to say cooking. Go on your language. My mom is, now I know, cooking. My sister is singing. If you don't know the word in your own native language, Google the word and repetition. Since the level 1, repetition always, till you memorize this. Okay, teacher, but it's difficult. Change. You can also use AI. But how can I study being a very basic student, an A2 student? Give me hints, A2 strategies to memorize vocabulary. Use AI. We have a very powerful one that I used a lot when I was starting, and I still use Anki. Anki Web, Anki the software. We have others, Memrise. You download it easily on Play Store. So just Google, guys. Don't be like just frustrated or complaining about it because we have technology. Use as your friend, like in your favor. I remember many times that I was in need. I needed to practice, but I didn't have any partner. Then I said, okay, I'm gonna be my own partner. That is why I started. Let's go for the B1. The famous case of the plateau student. This is the very common profile. I understand, but I can't speak. I frequently receive students, B1 students saying, teacher, I've been studying a lot, been studying grammar, but I make mistakes, or when it comes to speak, when I have to speak with someone, I get freezed. The words just disappeared. I don't know what happens. I want to speak, but something holds me back. I know, I understand you. We have some possible roots for this problem. Why is this student frustrated or freezed? Why is this student blocked? So first thing, maybe this student just receive generic and in most of cases stupid recommendations. Watch YouTube videos, read books, apps, watch news, listen to music. This level is not exactly prepared to do all of those things. This can be a step ahead, huge step in many cases. So then we have to analyze this. What is this student possible of doing? At this level, learners can understand tests. In most of the cases, very intermediate tests on familiar matters. So now we have longer situations. We can talk about traveling. We can start talking about some social things, but in a very simplified way. We are going to talk about work again, school, leisure, but in longer sentences, using all of those verbal tenses that we've seen in A2 level. Present continuous, simple past, starting the present perfect. We're gonna mix all of those tenses and start building topics, because in A2 we usually use the everyday topics simplified. Now here we can start introducing the social topics, and maybe this student is not ready. This student still needs some help. What we have here, they can understand tests, main points, okay? They don't understand everything, but they understand the content parts, right? The content words in many cases. At least this is the ideal thing for the B1, right? Or B1s, unfortunately, are not at this exactly level, but they can read tests because it's in a high frequency everyday language. They can produce simple connected tests on topics that are familiar, can describe experience and events, simple connected tests on topics. And you may ask me, okay, but what type of topics? Let's see. We can talk about experiences better than the A2 using the present perfect. I've been to London. I've been to a very incredible museum. Or first conditional. The first conditional is very common at this level. Talking about conditions in life. If I have this specific condition, I will get this result. The first, we have the second, sometimes the third. But usually first and second should be mastered. If I were rich, I would travel. We start talking about dreams and wishes and everything related to that. And what would you do if you were rich, if you won the lottery? Oh, we also talk about the zero. I didn't put here, but we have. We start from the zero. Zero first and second, sometimes third. We talk about past continuous, things that you were doing in the past. We start asking personal questions. Now you know how to describe a past routine, and you know the differences between the simple past and the past continuous. You use them softly. Have no problems with that. Relative clauses. Not exactly in a very complex way, but at least the who, you're a little aware of how we use. Because we have who, we have whom, have other things to whom, we have many things. Very basic. You can start talking about deductions, might, could, must. Making mistakes always, guys. You can ask, will I be perfect in all of those levels? Never. In all of those levels, we still have difficulties, okay? So you're gonna use it, but making mistakes. Like me, you can ask me, okay, but I always make mistakes. We are a work in progress, okay, everybody? We will always make mistakes, even native speakers do. Don't charge yourself with that. Never charge yourself. Relative clauses, modals, passive voice. We talk a lot about passive, active, and passive voice. The cake was made by her. This wasn't done by me. We start, but still making mistakes, still having a level of difficulty. We try to make as simple as possible, always. We try to hold back a little bit because we are a little unsure. We don't know exactly where to go. We're starting now, giving the step for speaking finally. Comparing with the two first levels, you are becoming independent. We usually at this level, we say, start monitoring yourself. Now your filter is in a very good shape because in the A1, A2, we build the filter. Now in B1, we start giving you the filter but we are still at your side. So then you can start doing, and we are still holding your hands. Self-taught student, take advantage of this. If you are a B1 student, screenshot this, please, and then Google how to use the present perfect, because most of the students get in trouble with this. Yes, and I understand, because in most languages can be very different. Then after that, try to speak. Again, I don't have a partner teacher, speak to yourself. Make sentences, create short dialogues, reproduce the dialogues, use Anki, use the sources, go for it. Reported speech, create a short story, retell this story in a very simple way. In another video, I'm gonna give very specific tips, okay, when it comes for specific verbal tenses. But you can use this as your source. Once you Google, everybody, it can be on YouTube, on Google, or other kind of searcher, you will find many activities designed for you exact. They're ready to be used. Don't waste your time thinking, oh my God, but what can I do? We have activities designed by teachers, professionals that know what you need. What I'm trying to say you is, once you know your level, it's easier to convert this process. Less stressful, because if you don't know, you'll always be generic. So no, Google in a very conscious way. Use the CEFR. Again, if you haven't taken this online test, please stop this and take it. I'm in this plateau. Please work a lot on B1, guys. I'm being serious right now. If you commit yourself at this level, you won't get that long. I remember myself when I was a B1 level. I was frustrated because I could hear, I could listen, I could read, but no speaking at all. Then when pandemic came, I started going for apps. Now it's time for you to speak. Now I recommend you go for apps. Please be careful. Be a lot careful, because unfortunately we have many problems. We can have many problems with free apps. So please be aware of this. Use the apps in a very productive way, healthy way. If you can afford, pay for it. Teachers, we have many sources, Cambly or other, I don't know a lot about paid ones because I've never used it, but I know that they're very good. And you can talk with natives or non-natives, but very professional ones. So now it's time for you to speak. Work a lot on your speaking, because you've been spending a lot of time studying grammar. I still have problems with gerunds and infinitives. Go back and practice. Always repetition. My word for you guys, repetition. But teacher is boring. Guys, if you look back at your life, at your own native language, your parents always had to repeat something for you until you memorized. Sometimes it can be boring, but you can find ways. That is the purpose of my channel, too. English in different ways. I usually teach expressions. But you have tons of things in English, tons of videos or materials teaching through games. If you like games, go for games. If you like more technical things, go for technical things. Explore and understand what you like and what you don't. Better than teachers sometimes, Teacher, but I don't like to read. Go for games. I like competition. I like the excitement. Okay, I like the adrenaline, the hormones. Choose the best way. You are gonna test. Guys, when you are a self-taught student, it's like a test. You're always testing what you like, what you don't, what works, what it doesn't. So test. Be patient. Always, guys, be patient. This is a journey that we will always be crossing. Okay, once you start, it never stops. And this is beautiful. This is magic for everything in life. We'll always be a student, even if in our native language. We're always learning, and this is beautiful. This is the magic of learning a foreign language, or even if our own native language. So that is why I'm holding a lot at this level. Practice a lot. Focus on this. Have you screenshot this one? Perfect. Having all those stressful things, we go for the upper. The upper is kind of, I would say, the winner. At least he has won the plateau level. This student has discovered what she should do. And wow, now I discovered the magic. I've practiced a lot. Now, thank universe. I've just got rid of this B1. What is this student capable of doing? Now interact with native speakers more comfortably when comparing with the B1. And those students usually talk with natives or with teachers. Oh my God, now I'm speaking. It's pretty aware of it. Oh my God, now I can see how far I've came. Now I'm able to express. I'm able to even, of course, making mistakes again, having troubles, okay? And that's fine. But now they can understand. This is the perfect level for TED Talks. The B1, true. What is a TED Talk, teacher? TED Talk is a platform. We have speakers. They are presenting very good ideas, okay? They're talking about social things. They're talking about very good things, simpler and more difficult, more complex things, okay? So at B1 and B2, start using TED Talks. TED Talks helps you in gaining vocabulary and understanding more complex things. And then you can watch and discuss with your partners. At this level, you still study grammar, but not that lot when comparing to the 3 first level. Now your filter is almost independent. So you are exploring. You are in touch with native or more advanced people. You are speaking. Then you can read. You can start reading some articles talking about contemporary problems, advantages and disadvantages, using the comparison that you've learned in A2 and B1, talking about different points of view, starting having some debates. Not very complex, like political, socio-economical, or stuff like that. On the surface, you are generic. You're very generic, and this is very fine. You are a winner when you achieve this B2. You are a winner. And of course, you are a winner in all of those levels. If you are advancing, you are always a winner. What I mean when I say a winner, because you've won the plateau stage. And this is very nice. You've discovered the strategies. Can express opinions. At this level, we notice our mistakes. We are conscious of it. We have some situations that we don't notice. We get the flow and that's it. And this is interesting from this level. We're always correcting ourselves because we are aware, and this is part of the process, and this is beautiful. I'm talking to you and I'm noticing many mistakes, but I'm cool. Have no problem with that. We are here to learn. That's it. Let's go. Present perfect continuous, past perfect, future continuous, third conditional, inversion, advanced modals, mixed conditionals, passive voice. Basically, all of those grammar elements, all of those grammar topics you've studied, now you're putting into use. Now is the practical time. You master most of them, like 80-90%. Now you have to use it because you've been studying a lot. Now you're anxious to speak, and every time you are in front of a situation, you are trying to speak always. I highly recommend you. If you can afford it for it, come on, pay it. If no, go for very good. Search the very good apps. Choose a partner, try to find a very serious one, and go for it. You can talk about things that you've been doing. You can talk about actions that you had finished, you had started. I don't know, you were aware and you know the differences. You can start using the inversion that we usually don't talk a lot. We don't see this a lot. The advanced modals, must have, could have, might have, mixed conditionals. You notice the problems because now you've studied all of them. Now you use it. But how do I do this? By listening a lot, listening and speaking. From this level and ahead, listening, longer videos. TED Talk are still very good for it. Try to speak, try to listen to real native speakers, real professionals, like very advanced people. Choose for as many topicals as possible. Okay, not just the topics you want, but like now, social things, cultural aspects. See, now ideological things, identity, needs. Now you're putting everything together in the group, in the set that we were talking about language. What is language, guys? It's more than just grammar. Sometimes we focus only on grammar. But see, all of those things that we can speak here about. B2, we can talk about identities. We can talk about our wishes, ideologies, political things in a very soft way. We can talk about dreams. We can start building our social relationships and understanding us as human and able to make connections, going actions, future, past, regrets, dreams. You are being independent. Again, let me remind you of something. This is short. Like I'm just summing up here. You can Google and find more information for this. I love this level a lot. Because if you achieve this, you're very good at it. If you want to, I will never suggest you stop studying. But you can be a little more relaxed because now you are being independent. You can travel alone. You can do many things. You are more confident to do this. Let's go for the dream levels. C1, C2. Guys, this one starting from the very specific topics. At this level, we can express ourselves fluently and spontaneously. can understand extended speech, TED Talks, and other lectures, even in real-life lectures. This is a very good level, and B2 to watch series. At this level, I recommend you watch series B2, C1. Because even if series can be an extended speech, not like a lecture, not like a presentation, but they're speaking real life using slangs, expressions, formality, informality, different scenarios. Starting watch movies, yes, for B2 to C1, recommend. This is a very good level for watching movies. To practice more, and then after that you can discuss about the movies. This level they include literary and technical works and appreciate different styles. Can produce clear and complex subjects. Usually they can write scientific things. Those things like medicine, engineering, social science, etc. This is for specialists. This is another type of thing, is another type of English, okay? So we're not going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the average things that we usually do. The average conversation. We can study politics on the surface, economies, social things. We can study and talk about this. This is normal. This is our nature. Now, being a specialist is for specialists. But okay, they can express the ideas fluently, for sure, without much obvious searching for expressions, can write things. If I'm not good at writing, at B2, you will identify that. Start writing complex things at B2 level. Then at C1, you keep doing this. I confess I'm not writing as that much. I should be writing, but start writing a lot. You will improve your grammar. You start writing and then reading books. Reading books. At B2, you can start depending on the book, okay? Same recommendation. The movies and the books, depending on both, you can start watching and reading. But at C1, you can read books a lot, okay? Very complex books with many things. You won't understand 100%, never. You're humans, right? We are a work in progress. Never forget that. After that, discuss. Make a report. Now you are more independent to choose your methods because now you are a very advanced one. Some students stop at this stage and that's fine. Because now they can work, they travel, they do most of the things and that's it. They prepare, they give presentations and that's fine. What does this level master? Future perfect. This is a very problematic verbal tense, I'm gonna say, but it's very fantastic too. I'll have finished by next week. We're going to talk about deadlines, left sentences that we don't talk that much. We don't see because this is for more advanced. For emphasis, it was John who helped me yesterday. It was me who prepared the cake. Don't you dare tell me that it's not me. For emphasis, you give in emphatic situations. Complex inversion, subjunctive mood, relative clauses, narrative sentences, advanced connectors, reported speech. But okay, I'm not gonna stand that much here because my target audience is not very advanced, so that is not my purpose right now, at least. My purpose is just discussing and get my beginner students until the B2 at least, and then after that we can work more. Okay, so starting with the proficiency, that is the last level. They have complete fluency, quote unquote. In other videos, we can talk more about the word fluency. They can understand almost everything, can understand with easy, virtually everything heard, complex ideas, can express them spontaneously. They use the written language. This is advanced proficiency student. Very close to native speakers. And guys, please, we'll never be the native speakers we're looking for. We will always be ourselves. Thank universe, okay? Forget that being speak like a native. I hate that slogan. Stop saying this. So speak like yourself. Native is a native. You were a native in your own language. You should speak like yourself. Respect your identity. This is a very interesting level. They speak with precision, precisely differentiating finer shades of meaning, even in more complex situations. They write clear. They're very good. Usually those students, the B2, C1, C2, they go for IELTS exams. They take IELTS exams for living abroad, studying abroad. They're going for universities, like full English universities. They're studying very specific vocabulary for very specific field. C1, C2 usually. Usually, I forgot to say that B2, C1, C2, they usually start working more on their pronunciation, maybe reducing accent. Don't charge yourself with this. I should hide my accent. Forget that. Your accent is your identity. You must be understandable. You must communicate with ease. If you have your accent and you communicate with ease, perfect. Don't charge yourself. Never charge yourself. And what is this level capable of doing? Nuanced modal verbs, ellipses and substitution, complex structure, can use the passive voice in various ways, using advanced clauses, style shifts, idiomatic phrases. We have idiomatic phrases in B2, C1, C2, but C2 is like more complex, way more complex. So, okay, you can ask me, how do I know my level? After that, you should take this test. Okay, online test. Here, guys, if you want to screenshot this part, perfect, go for it. This is just a sum up of everything that I've been speaking to you. Okay, all of those levels, what they're capable of doing. And then after that, knowing your level, taking the test, exploring this, trying to get some things. Teacher, but how, what techniques should I take? I'm gonna have a specific video for this. But basically, if you type videos, for example, B1 videos in English, you'll get the correct videos. B1 tests in English, you'll get the correct tests. B1 games in English, you get the B1 games. B1 musics in English. So you must explore. If you're a self-taught student, you must explore. We're gonna have a specific video for this, just stay tuned. And then how to access this information. First thing, Google. Google is your friend. Here, guys, I have one image, just like short image, because this belongs to Council of Europe, but I always use this. This is usually for teachers, but as students, you can also have access for free. You type CEFR level description PDF book, then you'll find this book, Common European Framework of References for Language, Learning, Teaching, Assessment. Qualitative aspect of a spoken language use. It is talking about the spoken language. So C, B2, C1, C2. In terms of range, accuracy, fluency, interaction, coherence. But this book is amazing because at this book, they have the grammar. So these explanations that we are having minutes ago, you can find in here, like the types of grammar, the type of structures, the social aspects for each level, what they can master, what they lack. And then after that, you can read calmly, but teacher, I don't understand everything. You don't need to understand everything. Just focus on your level. You will understand. Okay, but this is way advanced for me and I don't want to use it. Use AIs. Go for ChatGPT. Oh, ChatGPT, can you give me in details what are the grammatical aspects that a B1 should master, that A1 should master? Give me tips. Okay? What type of videos should I watch? What type of tests should I read? You can use the AI in your favor as your friend. Always. Never forget that. So the thing is, study your level always. The vocabulary, you know, and what you need to develop. Then align this by using an AI or table on Google. You should find what is easier, what is more comfortable for you. Guys, remember, learning a language shouldn't be stressful. It should be a very joyful, very playful, very good, very nice way, because you're learning because of purpose, right? We're going to talk about this in another video, starting with your why. After that, you're going to use videos, use activities, use games. The most important thing I'm trying to say to you, the CEFR helps us in understanding which activities we should use. So please use this. This is our friend. CEFR should be your friend. Once you take this test, you'll be better guided. Always, you'll know what you need to do. Okay? You will know. This is so magic and nobody talks about it. And I'm so frustrated about that. Friends like teachers and professionals, why are those people not talking about this? The importance of knowing your level. Mainly if you are a self-taught student. But even if you have a teacher, you must ask them. And now that you have access to this video, take this video for your teacher. Download the table and then take this to your teacher and ask your teacher more information about it. Ask your teacher to guide you. By taking the CEFR, you can have a designed schedule with all of those tips on how you can study, which day, which time, what kind of strategies are better for you. Very personalized, very direct for you, because every student is unique. I can't be very generic saying, okay, just watch a YouTube video. If I don't know your level, if I don't know your difficulties, if I don't know the things you master or not, we must be more responsible for our teaching. And if you are a self-taught student, most of my target audience are self-taught students, you need to take, please, the CEFR test. Thanks so much for watching this podcast, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and always have in mind, this shouldn't be stressful. Every word you learn brings you one step closer to a world of opportunity. Keep going, and soon English will feel like second nature.